With the ITN, they can take any one of the proposals. One of the other proposals on the table is a restaurant to go in the 5,000 square feet. Where the restaurant is, in my opinion, is they're not bringing enough money to the table to cover the expenses. So we may still be able to negotiate with them and get them to bring more money to the table, so that might still be a viable option. Or the commission may make the decision that we look at nothing and we start over. Since the ITN, we've had other people saying, oh, we'd like to do some things up there. We have talked to staff in the budgetary cycle on Saturday about some of the staff's needs. The ballroom, actually, the original ballroom plan, being flawed in my opinion, never had room for storage for the tables, no offices for staff. So right now they're in the 5,000 square feet empty space using some of that. So that might be an option to downsize the 5,000 square feet. We need to come back to the pool. Right now the pool is losing about $300,000 a year. We need to try to figure out how to fine-tune that. I've researched all the pools in Palm Beach County. Not one pool in Palm Beach County makes money. We could make more money, but if we were to look at making more money, we'd probably have to spend more money. So we're looking at different options like that. We heard from a lot of different people. We had a public forum meeting, I'm sure that's the one you were at, where some people came up with different ideas and thought patterns for things that they'd like to see at the beach. Some of the options were do nothing at the beach. In my opinion, we can't do nothing at the beach. You know, the beach is a beautiful asset, but in my opinion, once you put a building on the beach, it needs to pay for itself. You have tenants up there. All their tenant leases are different. You have some that have escalations. You know, you're a merchant like me. Do you have a lease that doesn't raise every year? So, you know, there's a lot of different things that were done, in my opinion, not the right way. So we're having to come back and fix some of those problems and look at those issues. Yes?
I have a couple of thoughts. Okay. The subsidizing of the leases is not, that's not. Now, the parking for the non-residents in season, it's for residents. That should be for residents, like people live there all the time. I know that there are people that come down and they're seasonal, things like that, but parking is an issue.
Parking is an issue, and that was something that the commission had decided to do. And in essence, you know, we heard back and forth, taxpayers, non-taxpayers, those people are paying more taxes than anyone. And you know, we heard it's a small, we now have some research, it's a very small piece. They're not taking up a lot of parking spots. We're actually looking at...
They take them all up.
Okay. Well, our staff has looked at it and done some of the studies, so I'll talk to you a little bit
And they're all
and show you that.
Right.
But parking is an issue, and that's one of the biggest problems I had with the business plan. The parking at the beach pays for the building. I would have never approved that. Whatever building you actually put up should have paid for itself. We're taking in anywhere between $1.4, $1.6 million a year in parking, but it pays for the building. It pays for the lifeguards. It pays for everything else, which, you know, we heard, yeah, should pay for lifeguards. Yes, it should. And we're actually looking at, you know, possibly extending lifeguard hours because we have some issues after 5 o'clock. But, you know, all that adds additional money to already a development plan, a business plan that is being subsidized. That's not quite working.
And I love the banquet hall. I think it's awesome. I wish the windows didn't leak, whatever, but, you know, it's a great place, it's a great venue, and, you know, and I also don't mind the idea of leasing something out. That's fun. I mean, we can, another mulligans, I think, things like that, as long as we have the market and everything for it. But, to me, it's such a jewel. It's like, the fight is so bad.
How long have you been here?
Well, I have a long story. I've been here since '89.
Maybe.
But I was gone for 10 years.
Okay.
But I've been here since '89.
Okay, 10 years that you were gone, did you ever
From
come to visit?
2005.
Did you ever come to visit the beach?
Well,
It wasn't really a jewel.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
You know,
No, I was there. I was there.
Being a native, you know, it definitely needed work. However, again, none of us were there at this time to be part of the process. And, I'm a small business owner. I always say, if I could run the city like they run the city, I'd be out of it. So we're trying to fix those problems, and, the beach is beautiful, but we're definitely fixing those problems. Yes?
This is minor, I know, but I was up at the pool both days this weekend.
Yes, I saw your
There's-
post.
Yeah, but there's nothing outside the pool that lets people know, come back for the swim club, come back for aerobics, do this or that. None of that is out there posted anywhere. You can't find it on the city website. I spoke to the swimming club. They were told when they just renewed their lease, so they're helping contribute to that they were going to be advertised on the city's website or something. You
Okay.
get absolutely nothing.
The
It
city's
looks,
website, any of that stuff, we can get on
but
there.
nothing, and there's nothing outside. So we have
And-
all these people up there, and if the hours and activities that they can participate with are there, you get more people there, more people in those parking meters too.
Agreed. And again, it takes a village. Facebook. Everybody has no problem going to Facebook when there's a problem. Go to Facebook. I brought up Sally's swim team. Get all that stuff on Facebook. The people that are renting, like Sally is an independent contractor. So are the swim team. They're renting the space. So it's really, I can speak to the city's website. That's all I can speak to. And if they send it to the city, I can tell you, I sent 2 things to the city today, and I got an email that said, post to the website. It's that easy. So, if this is missing, this is the first I've heard of it, and it's that easy to get it posted. I had somebody tell me last week, well, there's no one even knows there's a pool up there. And I said, I drove by and I saw a big sign that said municipal pool. There's some things we can do, and, we'll do it maybe.
Well, I know, but I'm saying,
You know.
with the grandkids at the playground and such like that, and I said, well, we were over at the pool, and they went, what pool?
Okay.
That one there.
And again, there's the red trunks, there's
I know,
there's
but
a lot of different
they
groups.
come up just to beach and what have you. And we're a regional beach, and when people come up, they're not going to Facebook to find what are the amenities, they're going.
So to conserve time and Andy will stick around.
Thank you.
Sober home conversations? Anybody have
Want to talk about something?
the new legislation was just, yeah.
Okay, so, you probably heard that some new legislation came through Tallahassee.
Let me just preface this by, we probably might have on the scale of 250 or more of these right now. So it's not like there's 5 of them or 10 of them. There's a few hundred of them right now. So it is something to pay attention to. I don't know, but go ahead.
So are you talking individual houses or apartments?
Buildings, properties.
Houses, buildings, apartments, some rentals, some buy. Tallahassee, Senator Jeff Clemens and Representative Hager actually last year tried to put something through the House and the Senate, and they fought a little bit because Representative Klager wanted it to be voluntary. Senator Clemens wanted it to be mandatory. They couldn't agree. This year they actually came together and they made it voluntary. It's a step. I personally don't think it's strong enough, but it's a step in the right direction. Myself, the vice mayor, and the mayor didn't feel it was enough, so we took it to Representative Franklin. She has decided and agreed to take it up in Washington. Last week, or 2 weeks ago now, I traveled to Washington. I sit on a couple different committees for the National League of Cities and the Florida League of Cities. So we were there lobbying, and I lobbied hard for sober house legislation. Representative Frankel wrote a letter, and we're still waiting for a response. She actually texted me today. She will be here Friday. She wants to actually, I've invited everyone, the different representatives, come to Lake Worth and see what sober homes look like to us. See what it looks like with people on the street. See what it looks like where people are living and sitting in front. See what it looks like, to the residents and merchants. So she'll be here Friday, and I'll show her what that looks like. But she's already, she admitted it's going to be a long, hard road. I really wanted to be public. You probably saw an interview on Channel 12. I've been to Channel 12 and said, let's do a story on this. because there's been a lot of people saying, oh, legislation came through Tallahassee. That's a good thing. It's not, it's a step, but it's not really a good thing because it doesn't do anything. It makes it voluntary, and if you want to look at it, it's 3 pages of voluntary. You know, to be honest with you, I would do it, I didn't have to. And going back to some of the crimes of opportunity, what I call them crimes of opportunity, some of the issues, there's no hard stats with PDSO because they don't do that as far as sober homes. But I can tell you, and if you talk to an officer, they can tell you that they get calls, they go out and they say, where do you live? Well, I live at the sober home. You know, there's a lot of different things going on, and I call them crimes of opportunity. My biggest problem with sober home legislation is there is no exit strategy. Exit strategy, I mean, last week when I was in Washington, I was coming back and there's a sign that says, Pathways to Freedom, Lake Worth. They were picking them up at the airport. They are bringing people in. If their insurance fails or they relapse, they're out on the street. There is no exit strategy that says they have to send them back to where they came from. Florida is becoming a dumping ground. That is not acceptable. And both myself and Vice Mayor have been in Tallahassee, been in Washington. We're both fighting for this, and we'll continue to fight for it. Do you have a question? Sorry. No. So that's one of the biggest things is the exit strategy. Vice Mayor, did you have something to say? Did you want to add some comments? Okay. I just want to make sure I cover everything because I get a little passionate and sometimes I forget things. Sandy?
I can say a horrible rumor that I heard that Hudson Holdings owns a lot of these sober houses properties.
That I don't know. I can't speak to it.
They own a lot of the properties. They may not run the home, but they may not run the sober houses,
Okay.
but they own the properties.
Is there any connection between?
Okay.
Repeat that to everyone.
Okay, we've got a couple of different things. The question was, is there any connection between PDSO and codes for sober homes? No. You know, if there's a code issue, it's a code issue. If it's PDSO, like I said, there's no legislation on halfway houses or sober homes.
But there are municipal regulations as far as there are limits of the number of persons that are allowed. Unrelated to our funds in their home. So if they're coming from a sober home, they have that number of things rejected somehow.
No, and that's where the misperception is. Sober homes fall under a protected class, so they don't fall under our regular code.
There's the community residences, which they all fall under, which are all under.
But we don't have the ability to inspect them. And Delray had a problem. Delray started in 09, Delray. And Delray actually went with that and was sued and lost. So we don't have the ability. What falls under a regular person that's going to rent, it does not fall into this category because it's a protected class. Now I say, if you have a disabled vet in a wheelchair, you cannot push them out onto the street. This is a protected class. How are you allowed to put this person out on the street when they relapse or their insurance stops paying if it's a protected class? I went to a big meeting where the gentleman was advocating for sober homes, and he said, our big thing is heroin. It's our big drug is heroin, and we need more people, we need more places to house them. My response was, you are housing people, and you said, heroin addiction in my single-family homes in and around my children. I have a problem with that. You know, you admitted that you're looking for more homes, and to be honest with you, you can talk to realtors. Realtors every day. There are realtors in the city that are selling to sober homes. There are realtors that absolutely will not. Whatever reason, they step back. Bottom line is, if you want to buy it, you can buy it. But, for instance, the Mango Inn just sold. Deb Knoll just sold the Mango Inn. It's been sold, it's been for sale for years. It was for sale for $2.1 million. $2.1 million. And she had 3 different people offer her cash for a sober home. She said no, because she lived down the street and she had the ability to say no. But there's a lot of people that are looking, these are cash buyers, these are people that are coming in and they're spending big money. And she got a lovely family to buy the Mango in, which is great.
This will be like, is it B&B or?
It's still gonna be a B&B, it's an Indian family, they're gonna live in the house, they have 2 small children, they're gonna run it as a B&B. But there's multiple properties on that street and the street behind it that are being sold as summer homes. So,
Talk a little bit about Del Rey. Do they get somewhat more of a control over this?
no,
This is
they're still going through the same problem, it's Florida, it's California, it's all the sunny places that, you know, you wanna be and we wanna be for whatever reasons they wanna be here. And Del Rey still has the problem with it, and when I travel, with the National League of Cities, it's cities all over the place having the same problem. Now, to be honest with you, it's gonna be a long, hard road through Washington, but we're gonna keep pushing and we're gonna try. You know, the vice mayor has been very adamant on, you know, he's been traveling to Tallahassee and fighting the same fight. So, you know, we're trying to do everything we can do and try to stay in front of it, but again, not a lot.
Anything else? I want to wind this down. No?
Yes, you said you were having a
James, go ahead.
meeting with Lois Franco
Yeah.
on this issue.
On this,
Is that a public meeting?
It is not. She's coming to town,
Okay.
and I'm just gonna take her around. I gave the same, I met with Clemens, I met with Representative Berman, Kerner came to town, I extended to Hager. I don't know if Vice Mayor has met with Hager enough, but I extended the same, and I put him in the car, and I drive him around, and while I have him in the car, I talk about infrastructure, I talk about sober homes, I talk about anything else that is an issue. So when they're there making those decisions, Lakewood is at the table. You know, I can't guarantee, they can't guarantee because they're just one vote, but we are at the table and, you know, we're trying to do as much as we can. Real quick, we've got some infrastructure monies that we're hoping for coming from Tallahassee. Both myself, the vice mayor, the mayor, and Commissioner McBoy, we traveled to Tallahassee. We met with the representatives. It looked very good. This is infrastructure funds for the Park of Commerce. And that will be hopefully coming through Tallahassee. They're actually, they didn't agree to a budget, so they're actually coming back. Did that start today or tomorrow in Tallahassee? Whenever it's long. But that's other things that we're working on to try to deal with the infrastructure issues. The bond failed, but it was always our understanding that we would continuously try to get grant funding. Also, another one is CDBG funds, which is community block grants. You'll see some of the greenways that have been popping up in and around schools, because it's always been our thought pattern is we need to get safe sidewalks, fix the infrastructure in and around schools to get the children safely to school. And so that's been the first issue with the small monies that we have.
Last call.
Yes,
Thank you, Andy.
you're welcome.
All right, thank you, Andy. So